to now give you my nomination as my running mate during the August 2022, August 9 election. I am pleased to introduce my brother Andrew Letepa Sunkuli. But who is Andrew Letepa Sunkuli? You may wish to ask me. You congratulate him later. I'm not through with him. I'm not through with him yet. Andrew is a 59-year-old native of Narok County with a zest for life and community service. His life and career is underpinned by desire to transform the lives of ordinary people. As a grassroots community leader, he has a conviction that through education and empowerment, any individual household can rise to their full potential regardless of where they start their lives from. And please accept that he's a member of the Mark community, one community that have been marginalized from the colonial times up to now. The business center, because it is their land. What is academic history reads as follows. From May 1985 to May 1988, now I actually read in the first person singular, I undertook my undergraduate studies at Kenyatta University in Nairobi, where I graduated with a bachelor's degree in education with majors in took me on a journey through psychology, statistics, history of education, a broad variety of literary genius and regional literatures, the history, structure, and usage of the English language, as well as the practical skills of teaching and classroom delivery. He's an accomplished teacher. Give him a clap for it. In February 1982, November to November 83, Kenya for my advanced level high school education, where I majored in English, Divinity, and Kiswahili, which is a language spoken by 200 million people in Eastern Africa. And I graduated with top scores. I wish it was me, but it's in the first person singular. January 78 to November 81, I attended Kilgoris Secondary School in Kenya, where I completed my certificate of secondary education with a Division I score and emerging the top student that year in the entire province. In 1988 to December 88, I was employed by the National Teacher Service Commission and posted to a prestigious high school known as Kabarak High School, where I had a short stint as a teacher of literature and English language. I actually interrogated him, Brother Giddy, on this matter under a tree. I asked him to, he's a literature student myself, and I remember some of the set pieces. I gave him one of the soliloquies in the Shakespearean tragedies, and it started like this. One of those serious soliloquies. It says, time is out of joint, oh cursed spite, that I was born to set it right. He goes on to say, you know, now I imagine if you're in Kenya today, wouldn't you think that time, like Shakespeare would have said, is out of joint, oh cursed spite. And then I wanted to say, because he was considering committing suicide, whether it is more honorable in the heart to suffer the slings of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them. I asked him, which of the Shakespearean tragedies was that? He had to Google a little bit. He ended up with Hamlet. He's an accomplished literature teacher. And that is what actually gave me myself the necessary backing to study law at the University of Nairobi. So I find a lot in common. And that is, gentlemen, I don't want to bore you with a lot of these things about him. January 74, director, chairman, and chief of a number of companies and organizations as follows. I founded and led the East African Leadership Center as executive chairman. Center was established to provide leadership training to middle-level managers of private, for-profit, not-for-profit organizations. With a staff of 30, we had a throughput of 600 individuals in those 9 years. My responsibilities included providing team leadership, ensuring the center stuck to its vision and core mandate, and overseeing all the key business processes. The East Africa Leadership Center was later sold to other investors. As the ELC was a small outfit, his salary stayed between $1,500 to $2,000 per month. Now, this tells you he knows how to begin humble. And my brother, should you become the President of the Republic, do not look at exhaustive numbers compared to this. And if you find you're earning so much, and of course, the thing I'll tell you as your leader is you will never steal, because stealing will militate against all that, what you try to do in trying to set up those qualities. January 2001 to 2003, while I was executive chairman of the East Africa Leadership Center, he served as a board director for Kenya Ports Authority, that is KPA, having been appointed to that position by the President of the Republic at the advice of the Minister in charge of Sports and National Transportation. The KPA Authority is a large public sector organization with 7,000 employees and a fairly profitable record. As director, he chaired 2 subcommittees of the board, namely procurement and human resources, and as chair of HR subcommittee, he led efforts to eliminate an actual deficit of over 100 million dollars, I beg your pardon, which had nearly crippled the staff pension fund. He left the board voluntarily due to pressure of new assignments. And 2003 to 2006, he was chief executive officer and principal owner of Rappas Publishing, a company a friend and I established to help the government of Rwanda to publish school books under a new post-genocide curriculum. Post-genocide, sounds very good. And using part of the staff of 50 teachers, we wrote and published from scratch textbooks for the entire primary school system. It was a tough feat considering the residual ethnic passions of the early post-genocide period. On the other side, he provided consultancy services to the New Times of Rwanda, which then was a weekly newspaper and the only English newspaper language paper in Rwanda. We helped turn it into a daily, and it still the must-read newspaper in that country today. When he completed the Rwanda assignment, he created at least 10 editors in a country which had no book publishing industry and handed over the local business there to the nationals. Now, gentlemen, an accomplished publisher. So, political work, I came from a fairly political family, and so I'm never too far from political action. His other brother, you may remember, is Ole Sunkuya, who is running as Member of Parliament for Kilgoris on Kano ticket. He's been involved in many political campaigns on behalf of the candidates at all levels of the electoral chain. In 2007, he played a key role in creating and implementing a communication strategy for the Kibaki Tena campaign. Kumbe, you are not even with us. Okay. Okay. And then in 2013, he ran for the seat of Narok Senator as an independent candidate, where he became a very strong second. Actually, he won. And I know the people who stole from him. That's why he earned the title. Senator Bila Deni. Ana Deni amtu yoyote. And then In 2017, he did not contest, but instead played a key role in the presidential campaign for the Jubilee candidate. Again, he was against us. Currently, he's a candidate for the Narok senatorship on a Wiper Democratic Movement ticket, from whence we have convinced, we have actually managed to convince him to look to elect. I'm sure there are no short of senator candidates. Unfortunately, we will not have one on Wiper, but I think if what I'm hearing serves me right, the leakage in Narok is already causing a lot of excitement. He believes that he has a strong community mobilization skills that will come in handy at both the local and the national levels. So, who am I professionally? He asked that question of himself. I consider myself to be 1, a teacher, 2, a publisher, 3, a writer, 4, community worker, 5, businessman, and 6, a politician. He has authored or co-authored the following titles. Number 1, a dictionary of oral literature. Number 2, a guide to betrayal in the city. I would like to read that again. Number 3, a guide to things fall apart. That's by Chinua Achebe. Number 4, sing me a song, poems for primary schools. Number 5, the hero and the dream, a short story. Number 6, stories and poems in anthropologies. 7, many articles in newspapers. He's a family man and a devoted Christian. Devoted family man, devoted Christian with a wife and children. He likes extracurricular activities and interests. When he's not working, this is international travel. If he was a member of the 12th Parliament, he'd probably be arriving from Dubai, traveling. So, this information given this resume is correct to the best of my knowledge and recollection. Let's give Mheshimiwa Andrew Letepa Sunkuli a very big hand. So I'm very pleased, my friends, fellow Kenyans, to commend Andrew Letepa Sunkuli as my running mate. And I now hand over the rest of the program to Madam Agatha Solite, Mumo Matemu, and the rest of the team to do the needful. We have a deadline which is supposed to be up to midnight, but I think we're in time. And thank you others for finding the time at very short notice. From here, we are hitting the ground running. Thank you.
Thank you.